To give you an idea of what we're going to do, I've brought in some samples that we've done at a couple of workshops. You'll see that they're a particular shape. We ask everyone to cut their leaf this shape. Everyone's leaf is going to be beautifully independently different, and what will hold it together is the shape. Now, in a workshop, Alyssa, who's 9, did 2. This one. Oh, and I haven't put the other one out, I'm sorry. Her mum came along and did another leaf as well. We have another leaf done by myself and another done by the member of the guild. Basically, they use 3 stitches or variations of stitch, and we hope to teach you all of them in the next few videos. Some of my thought processes for coming up with an idea, I scribbled down. Now, I chose Harlequin by Morris West from my bookshelf. It was just a red hardcover book without a dust jacket, so it didn't give me any clues. So I googled Harlequin and came up with patterns. We can all do patterns of some sort or other. You can see I'm not a great drawer, but this gives you an idea of how to have a play with an idea. There are also traditional images of Harlequins because they wore hats with bells or stripy hats, and a lot of them had masks on. So that took me to thinking about masks and whether I could just do something with a mask. And finally, there were harlequin beetles. So I thought, well, I could do that as well. So I did 2 of those samples just to show you, and I'll stick them on the book so you can have a look. That's the mask with a couple of very simple stitches, and it didn't take too long, and I think it's sort of effective. And I'm quite like, I'll move this one over, the beetle. And again, it has lots of straight stitches, long stitches, so it wasn't too hard to execute. In the instruction pages is a template, the leaf template that I referred to earlier. You need to copy this out, or you could cut it out of the instructions themselves. And here I've made a cardboard template, just to use as an outline for your leaf shape. Draw your leaf shape with a pencil. In this instance it's heavy enough. Or you can use a pen if you prefer. It doesn't matter that much, that we have the shape that we want to stitch inside. Try and centre your template in the middle, and you can use the outside to practice some of your stitches if you like. You can use your template instruction sheet to draw your design if you like as well. It gives you an idea, something to play with. Don't cut this out, leave it whole for the moment, and we'll start stitching. You'll have your threads in your pack. Select the thread that you'd like to start stitching with first. Now these threads are quite long, so before you start stitching, I can't find the end folks, I suggest you cut it in half. If you put the needle on this long piece of thread, you're going to end up punching yourself in the nose every time you take the thread through the fabric. So cut it with your scissors to about a length that is the same as wrist to elbow, roughly that, and it's a comfortable length to sew with. Then thread your needle. Now you'll notice in the pack that our needles have really large eyes, and I've got some more examples of those, so I'll just show them to you now so that you can see how big the eyes are in the needle. So that will help accommodate our thread, because the thread is really quite thick, but it stitches up beautifully, which is why we've chosen it. So you've got, try and press your thread so that your ends aren't fuzzy. This isn't going to work, and I'm going to have to resort to licking it, I think. Oh no, I've got it through. And grab the threads and pull them through. Next step is to secure the thread either by way of a knot or in the back of the fabric. Neat stitches do this. I'll do it on the front so you can see. So you take your thread through. Doesn't matter if it shows at the back just a little bit. You just want to catch it. Probably preferable if it doesn't show. So now you've got a nice, so really this is our reverse. This is the front if we were doing the real thing. So I've shown you that, but I'll show you the other method of tying a knot, which I really like as well. Take the end of your thread on the threaded needle, stick it on your finger, put your needle down, hold the needle and thread, pinch it with your fingers, wind around twice or 1.5, pinch the top and hang on for dear life and just keep pulling, and you will end up with a knot at the end. Knots at the end of the felt don't really matter because the fabric's so thick. The purpose of having a nice fine knot that's buried in fabric like that is so it doesn't show on finer material. Now we've got our needle threaded, we can start with running stitch. We always start from the back of the fabric, so we've got our template line drawn. So maybe we might try and stitch the beetle, the harlequin beetle that I talked about before, because it covers some of the stitches.